Trump stuff. Try to give that a break until it's headline news again. I'm milking as long as I can. Hopefully I can milk it longer than a couple of days. That's boring. Of course, it's the same old thing. Well, we'll see how that turns out. So yeah, there's some kind of solar flare that's going on. We also have like the strawberry moon. So something is coming here. You don't hear that one very often. The strawberry moon. I think it's a strawberry moon. It's not the sun, is it? Yeah, it's the moon. Interesting. Yeah, so obviously new frequencies are coming in. I mean, that's always the case, but with this solar, what do you call it again? Incoming source storm. Yeah, storm. If you get your superpowers, more power to you on that one. You probably won't know how to use them anyway, so yeah, get some X-Men powers and yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, there is new ideas, at least for some, and some kind of creative endeavors or whatever it might be, or spiritual and alignment for some, depending. The solar flare or solar storm. It's not a flare. It just, we can say it's astral realms connected for downloads or whatever it might be. It's coming in. It's only for the U.S. It's only a couple of states, or 10 states, I think. That's more than a couple, but. I remember hearing about it, but this whole Musk thing has been, more entertaining, you can say. So yeah, I can say it's Akashic download or just changes that are necessary. Of course, in our human selves, have see it one way, and us on a higher level see it another. The human out here is so fearful of a good portion of it is. It just sort of, it's such a pain in the ass here. We go to an open-minded world. Maybe it's too open-minded, but it's, this one you can take what you can get, right? It's like moving through mud. Basically it's mostly a fear society, if you haven't noticed. They just call it a religion for some. Just not, it's like, I'm just part of this religion. Oh, that means you're part of some kind of, I won't call it there's some mind control there, but it's also a belief system. This is as far as I want to go. And that's it. As different belief systems, even in the spiritual community, the metaphysical stuff, even that has its lines it's only going to cross, and so on. So, anyway. Not much to report on. It's been, I've been doing too much of the beach stuff and not too much going on my end. Maybe one day. I haven't been, and we'll see. It's Avatar Comic Pro Sessions. Priscilla's here. Schedule our shop here. Hi, Priscilla. Yeah, Fritzy only shows up when she's absolutely needed. She's like, Fritzy shows up when we need the real cop here. So Priscilla's the backup, or there's a word for it. It's just like, the scout ship. Fritzy's the mothership. Something like that. That's okay. We can hang out. I think I lost my train of thought. Yeah, too much is going on. Oh yeah, for the beach, yeah, there's also a clearing there too. I'm there, so if I'm not there, it's probably a good thing. If I don't need to go there, if I'm going there a lot, it's like, damn, dude, things are fucked up. Not to say they're not screwed up, but yeah, it's another part of the hole there. I need a cat cam. I can switch over to them. They can see what she's doing. Life in the spa. Yeah, because of course animals and nature bring out a certain frequency here, and obviously, like I say, the lower dimensions are. Well, a lot of the fear of society is the lower realms. That's their fear. Well, the trickster beings and all that, just to keep us from our highest potential. Of course, we're warning from them too. Yeah, it's complicated. We're assisting them for them to evolve out of the lower realms. Not that you need to think about that. For them to pull themselves out of hell, that's up to them. And there's others that are going into hell. It's coming and going. It's like a bus terminal. And it's not really spoken about for obvious reasons, because people here can't handle shit. Some can, most can't. Just want the millennium positive because it's like they only want sugar and they don't want anything else. So, anyway, whatever. It's here if you need it. It's everywhere. It's all places. Unless we're in Finland. I think Finland is away from a lot of this shit. Move there. It's boring there, but it's away from all this crap. I think Sweden's all screwed up. Finland, you never hear about Finland. Things must be going alright. Brussels, that's some Illuminati shit. Germany's got Germany. I don't think the war ever ended there. Yeah, well, big skeleton in its closet and everyone knows it. Yeah. But then again, that mentality is everywhere to some level. So, anyway, with the police to some level. Not to that level. Well, it's a little bit here and there. So, either way. Alright, we're going to, tap into solar flare frequencies and, solar storm. I keep wanting to say, because with solar flare, you always hear about that. And that's propaganda to get their superpowers and all that. I mean, yeah, to some level, but maybe not to the level that some are selling it as. Most people can't handle themselves as they can't handle anything. And when they're superpowers, you came to the wrong world for that. Yeah. There's the other thing. Forget about this. It's on the title, but Sirius. So Sirius has a lot of serious problems, and obviously you see that here. And you look at the dog. Not to bash the dog or but with canines that are obedient to man, like man's best friend, right? Well, how do you know? How do you know you weren't being to submission to be like that? Galactic wars and all that. Now, obviously, they're assisting us, but also they went through a lot of manipulation themselves to be, kind of like a slave race to some level, right? You can see, cats, so you go, fuck yourself, right? But the dogs don't do that. They look for you for, they need you, man's best. But so that shows, like I said, I'm not trying to put down dogs or anything. But when you look at it from a different level, it's like there's some some history there of a slave race basically. And of course, they're here to assist us because we're all effed up here. If in case you haven't noticed, I guess some have not noticed. Even in the spiritual path, still have not fucking noticed it. Not really. Not to the grand level. They've seen it to some level, but not. Yeah, it's like we really saw it. How it really is. We really saw it. Yeah. Sometimes it's better just to have tunnel vision. It's better that way. But yeah, when you think about like why like say why are the dogs man's best friend? Well, they went through a lot of manipulation, became slaves to the bad guys. And think about it, become slaves to the bad guys, and then but others broke off, so we're not going to do that. But we still want to assist humanity. We still want to be man's best friend, or however you want to look at it. So it's like you learn something from that, but you give back. And of course, they might be too reliant on us and so on, but also it teaches people how to raise kids and shit. And, it's having a dog is a good way of learning how about life and everything. And of course, some people abuse them. It's someone. So, but they're here to assist us because we're all effed up here. We're so screwed up we don't even know it. Yeah, they're like little babies and everything. Yeah, I think for people that don't love themselves and so on, or can't get along with anybody here. Yeah, sometimes it's better just to connect to a dog or a cat, or a mouse, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, goldfish. Yeah, you can't pet a goldfish. Maybe you can. Not going there. Salamander and so on. But yeah, it's companionship. So yeah, at least that's what I feel from the canines. Yeah, so to recap, I feel like they were manipulated. Obviously Orions are involved with that, other beings too, but definitely Orions. And just being a society into submission, and then just well, the reptilians are a same shit. They're guardians of of the the hierarchy, the dictatorship, right? That's policing us, right? So they have some of that in their society too. It's more militarized, but we have more of the lighter side through the canines. Of course, like I said, people here abuse it, but not most of them don't. I don't think. But they're giving us a hand because they're like I say, we're all screwed up. So, but they're not appreciating it. Who the fuck is? Nobody's appreciating. Tell me about it. Planet Fear. Yeah, this is Cape Fear. You're on planet Cape Fear, and yeah, if you're on a more I guess if you're on a more open-minded world, maybe just everyone's too open-minded. I don't know if that's a possibility, but you don't have that problem here, that's for sure. It's a closed store. It says it's open mic. It's not. If it was, things would be a lot different right now. So, well, I guess Musk had to delete a bunch of his shit because of all the stuff he was saying. Like, yeah, you have any evidence in it? I'm like, what the? He's just there to destroy himself, from what it looks like. So, yeah. Yeah, see, some people want to have that power in that situation, but then when you can make yourself or break yourself, and it's all public. So, do you really want that? So, all right, we're going to the solar storm energy. Solar energy that's connected to what it's bringing. I'm not sure if they can go into too much detail, but I would say it's similar to the moon cycle. I think it's more intense, actually. Doesn't mean it's a drastic change. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, because we're waiting for some kind of shift, but it doesn't mean it has to be like worldwide, it can be internal, like a life change. Could be so, but it's still a big deal that we're working towards. So at this point, I'll take anything at this point. After everything I've seen, I need a break. Go live out on the beach. Clear this crap out. So, yeah, if you get called to the beach or called to nature and you feel like you just need to get out, yeah, there's a reason for it because a major clearing is necessary. Usually it's other people's stuff, usually. So, yeah, anyway. All right, okay, we're going to solar storm energy, and here we go, blessings. Greens you from the solar energies, solar dimension. It's your 6th, 7th, and 8th dimension energies being brought into your environment. A subtle change, nothing too drastic. You say it's salt and pepper into your reality for those that need it. Like you have a salt and pepper shaker, it doesn't go everywhere. It goes to certain places where it needs to go. To add maybe some extra flavor to some of your lives. As yes, maybe you've yes, you can say for some of you this is a military operation. To some, you have to look at that. Well, some are obviously feeling it. Of course, everyone can feel it to some level, but there's different levels. Some of you are going deeper than others in consciousness and to truly do some inner workings with the earth itself. Of course, everyone is to some level, but still some of you are going a little bit deeper than others. It's kind of, yes, go into the rabbit hole and see what you bring out or what you discover and so on, and also you to bring a new change where people, so the idea is yes to bring a change in this reality where others or most do not notice it, which is not a negative. It is also bringing, yes, you can say soft disclosure frequencies where no one's looking. Put it that way. So you're looking for soul disclosure, alien disclosure, elemental disclosure, fairies, and so on, and all these things. They have their way of coming into the world where no one sees it. Some might see it, but most do not see it, but need it. It's kind of like when it rains, and some of you are like bringing your own energy rain, you could say, for cleansing the earth internally for yourself and others. And you can say also channelings are involved with that. But you also go into new areas of the world where no one will notice, not on the surface. So yeah, like alien disclosure is packaged differently, or like I say, your average person is not going to see it. Not quite ready for this whole intergalactic connecting to the universe. I mean, they are, but they're just not fully consciously aware. Yeah, it's called entertainment, Star Trek, and even the Lord of the Rings energies and so on. It's just where they could feel at home. They call it pop culture, but it's obviously other words to it. But elements of your reality that are peppered in to seed in higher knowledge for at some point a greater awakening. Well, some of this stuff is brought into the pop culture, as you know, and then spiritually, it's like, wow, that's in this movie or that movie or whatever, or that book or some kind of, wow, how convenient. Well, obviously that's been packaged and by design some time ago. And that's just one way for delivery. There are others, but sometimes reading, like in a book, is very difficult. Well, also bringing text here is good too. But visuals and even through music, there's other ways of delivering it. Text is good, like as a blog or something like that. You might write a blog, a spiritual some kind of knowledge. He's like, nobody notices it, and all of a sudden you notice it part of the consciousness here on a mainstream. So either you're tapping into it and preparing for it, or just assisting it to be brought into the consciousness. And once again, it's unseen. It has to be at this point. As many want to become more conscious, on a higher level, like more conversations. And it is done conversations, but it has the word fiction written over it. For the safety of one, so because connecting to this galactically, as you know, you become a different person. And most are not to say they're just not ready for it yet. On a conscious level, happening in the extraterrestrial life, can you imagine your Congress doing that? Now, they are interested in it, but how many of them are actually ready for alien interaction? Even if they do have it every once in a while, I have no idea they're doing it. It's not, your culture is not quite designed, as you can see, where it's more welcome. It's getting, of course, it's been weaponized and so on. And so while these people are evolving, we have to put a stop to it. There are certain beings doing that, as some of you noticed within some of the cults. It's like to put barriers up. You're awakening, but through our filter now. So it's like being fish caught in a net. Energetically, and get caught in a manipulative net. And it's up to you to break out. It's easier said than done. As some of you might notice. Some of you are not in the net at all, but others are, and are having trouble finding their way out. But you are basically here to, at some point, where all this is made consciously, meaning like everyday conversation, a new belief system, not just a belief system, a reality where you can multidimensionally connect, which you are doing, but obviously it's not part of everyday conversation among your millions, billions of people that are here. So the idea is, it's struggling. So the best way to solve disclosures, even through the Bible, obviously there's alien knowledge there. Spells and everything you need is there, actually. But you decode it in your own way. If you want to go in that direction, there's nothing wrong with that. It's one way of breaking out of the belief systems. It's decoding everything. You can also see in Wheel of Fortune. What is that doing as a game? Isn't that a tarot card? So, spell work. So, you're here to decode your reality. You have to decode everything. It can become quite exhausting. But yes, of course, a lot of this is connected to the cult, but also even they can't handle everything. Your elites can only handle so much. Well, in their cultures, they're taught, to keep your world shut down. But you are also here to unravel it. Well, that's a weird one, because your elites are here, because they know society's not ready, and they're not ready either themselves, so they keep all this closed down. But some of you that are ready, you'll find a way through it all. You'll break free. You become rebellious, and energetically it's like, you're on to how all this works to some level. You don't need to know everything, but either way, you break out of the matrix, as they say. So, that's all we have at this point. Blessings.